there's so many great growers before us that they won't show their garden. I don't blame them, man. They've been locked down on this negativity of cannabis and how bad it is and how bad it is to grow it and how criminal it is.
Is everybody in? Is everybody in? Is everybody in? The ceremony is about to begin.
This is very real.
Fantastic.
This drug is dangerous.
Wrong.
You cannot play with it. It's not funny. It's not something to laugh about. Good people don't smoke marijuana.
Shut your little punk ass up.
But the more you hate me, the more you will learn.
Hey, you guys, welcome to the Autoflower podcast, where we chat with growers, breeders, and anyone relevant to the Autoflower cannabis community. My name is Chad. I'm your host. I want to thank you for joining me here today, and I want to give a shout out first and foremost to Inky Cal and Ricardo, and thank them for joining the Patreon community. I appreciate you guys, and I appreciate your support, and thank you for signing up. I also want to thank all of you who have ordered a shirt. I've had a great response since launching the merch. So all of you who have ordered, thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't want to attempt to pull on heartstrings, but between you guys and the Patreon community, you're helping me and my family during these COVID times, which has almost wiped out our screen printing business completely. And we've had it pretty well established for the last 10 years. So anyways, it's almost Thanksgiving, man. So I'm allowed to throw out a ton of thank yous. So thank you. I can't help but feel the gratitude from you guys, all your support. You're going to want to be sure to follow this week's guest on Instagram and YouTube. You can find links in the show notes. I've definitely made a new friend, and I think you will as well by the end of the episode. Man, I just love this guy. I'm so stoked that I connected with him. This week, we're chatting with Basement Autoflowers out of Canada. He is a member of the community who has something a little different to offer, like with the unique ideas, and he's just got an all-around great attitude. He's just a cool dude. He's a solid grower as well. He's sponsored by Fast Buds and grows like kind of on a lower budget, do-it-yourself type fashion mentality. I really like him, man. He likes to laugh, he likes to make others laugh, and just enjoy life in general. So please welcome to the Autoflower podcast for their debut appearance, Basement Autoflowers. Just give me a background of how you got into growing in general. Did you start with Autoflowers, or I guess just give us your story, man, like how you started.
Yeah, man, it's a bit of a kind of a cliche story. My wife actually is diagnosed with bipolarism, so we've been trying to figure out ways to kind of medicate her for a very long time. Medication works from time to time. It kind of disappeared, but long story short, man, we started smoking cannabis, and we figured out a few strains that kind of really helped her and kind of really helped me manage it too, man. And then I'm like, hey, I could probably fucking grow this. We're in a legal state. We can grow 4 plants here legally, and you can get a license up to however many you really want, depending on what kind of issues you have and what the doctor would give you, right? So I started growing, man, and I did what every grower did. Fucking research for hours, man, trying to figure out how to do it because I didn't want to fuck it up, and I wanted to get the best yield possible. And I went right into autoflowers, man. I've been doing autoflowers since day one.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I the only reason I did that is because I wanted a variety, right? I wanted different strains to smoke, and there was a lot of cool people too, man. You being one of them, man. The Autoflower podcast came up on Instagram. I started looking into that, and autoflowers intrigued me. Like, what other plant really does what autoflowers do, right?
Yeah.
No light cycle needed. You can fucking pound them however hard you want. At the end of the day, you're gonna get weed. You just don't know what kind of weed you're gonna get, and really how much, right? So.
Heck yeah, man. That's kind of similar to my story, dude. You know, just started like actually the same thing with my wife because she had some thyroid problems, and I was doing some research and trying to figure out something a little more holistic, you know, a little more natural, and came across Rick Simpson oil, you know, and I'd never heard of it, you know, smoked weed back in the day, of course, but didn't know anything about medical aspects of it or anything like that. So I got this Rick Simpson oil, and then I was like, I'm going to try this out for myself because she's never really used cannabis before. And I used to be, pretty big time stoner. So
Yeah,
I was
absolutely.
like, well, and then now I am again, of course, because I'm using it every day for my Tourette's and stuff too. So, but yeah, man, I just like tried it out and I was like, whoa, this is helping me, you know,
Big time, man.
and
Big time.
just piggybacked off that, man, and away it went. So kind of a similar thing there. So
Once I get,
tell
go
me
ahead.
about like you're growing in the basement, because your Basement Autoflowers is your handle on YouTube and Instagram. So tell me what you got going on down in the basement.
So, Basement Autoflowers basically became a name because I want to do it as cheap as possible, man. I don't have a whole lot of money, just like everybody in this world, man. I mean, the more you make, the more you fucking spend, right? So I try to do it the cheapest way possible. And the only area I had was an unfinished basement.
Mm-hmm.
And I bought a tent, man. I started out with a 4x4 tent with 4 flowers in there. And they were fucking like 12 inches tall, like terrible, terrible flowers. My humidity was bad. Everything was bad, man. And that took probably about 2 years to do that. Then I realized, hey, man, I'm getting pretty good at this. I'm starting to pump out some monsters. Instagram's starting to give me some feedback saying, man, I've never seen anything this big, or I've never seen the way that the techniques you use, or watering techniques and things like that. So I grew this big 10 by 10 room back here, insulated it all, got her basically completely set so I can keep my temperatures exactly where I need them now. My lights are exactly where I need them. Everything's dialed in 99% of the time. Obviously,
Nice.
there's those times where you're going to have a bad day, man, and throw off your whole garden. But that's what I'm running now, man. And I felt like going with Basement Autoflowers because I feel like we all should start growing cannabis in our basements, man. If you got a spot where you can start growing, you need to start growing. Not only are you going to save money, you're going to clear your head on those days when you're having a fucking bad day at work, man. And you just get in there with the girls, get in there with the garden, and just kind of enjoy yourself, man. It's a passion. I
Yeah.
absolutely enjoy it, man.
Yeah, it is. It becomes something more than just growing for your own supply. It becomes a whole nother, like, I don't want to, I mean, hobby. It could be a hobby, it could be passion. It just becomes a whole nother thing, growing in and of itself, you know? I totally agree, man. Like, you just go, you sit down with any plants in a garden. It just, when you're the one nurturing these things, it just brings you some sort of certain type of serenity, man. Like if you've been having a bad day, it like helps you just connect, just
It's
ground
yours,
yourself.
man. Like you own it. Your garden is your exact like it's who you are, man. You decide how much water. You decide what medium you want to use, which size pot, which light, what kind of cycle are you going to run. Like you're in charge of everything in that room, man. And they
Mm,
literally rely on you to become good or bad.
yeah.
So you can really kind of put a mental thought on it, man. It controls a lot about what you do and kind of how you react to everything in life, man. Like you see
Yeah.
someone down and out in public, man. Are you going to help them out? You're going to give them the proper nutrients that they need. It's the same thing. Gardening opens up this like part of your heart, man. I feel like, and I'm not an emotional guy, but my garden has made me kind of open up over the last
Mm.
few years, man.
Yeah, man, I could totally relate with that, dude. Even Jesus himself spoke in parables of like seeds and gardening and planting. It's crazy, dude, thousands of years ago. So what are you running like as far as soil or cocoa? Like what's your medium?
I keep going back to the same story, man. Cheap, cheap, cheap. So I went with Pro Mix BX because it was like $30 a bundle. And I'm like, I want to do this cheap. And I had a plan in mind to say, I want to teach people how to do this because I had a hard time finding people that were
Mhm.
willing, number one, to show their face on YouTube. Number two, willing to make it simple and
Mhm.
not complex. So I went with Promex BX. I run it in a 3-gallon pot. I run it in my low stress training basement autoflower pots. I don't know if you've seen those. They're pretty cool, man. I made
Yeah, I have.
these
Hmm.
kind of these my own pots with holes in them.
Yeah,
You
I
know the
saw that.
deal.
Yeah, that's cool.
Um, so I run them in a 3-gallon because a 5-gallon I thought originally was just too big. I wasn't watering enough, or couldn't really dial in how much water I was giving them. So I
Hmm.
went with a 3-gallon so I could obviously get more into a smaller room, and fill the pot. Like I wanted to see roots on the outside of my pots when I was peeling them off
Hmm.
during harvest, right? So I keep it simple, man. I run regular tap water. I rarely pH my water unless I think something's off. My nutrients kind of take care of themselves, man. I run a unique nutrient line that a lot of people aren't running. A buddy of mine here locally, Kronk Grow, we get together and kind of, he's a super smart guy. It has nothing to do with me, really, to be honest with you. I'm just telling the story, but he figured it out. He figured out a phenomenal nutrient plan, man.
Really?
And that's what I run. I run a nutrient line called Kronk Grow, and they're simple, man. You pour them in, you stir them up, and you fucking feed them to these girls, and they love them. So
what are you making these nutrients yourself, or is this or he is, or
I'm not making them myself. He has a connection with a company out of Ontario.
okay.
He has used a bunch of different kinds of nutrients, and then kind of dialed them into how much, I don't know the word, like micros of this or
Yeah.
blah 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 this, some scientific fucking term that he could probably tell you, but he dialed it into what worked for him, man. I started using them, and they're absolutely incredible, man.
And so what are they called again?
It's called Kronk Grow, Cronk Grow, Grow.
Okay, and that people can find that on Instagram and stuff. They want to go take a look.
Absolutely,
Okay,
yeah. If they want
cool.
to check that out.
So that pro mix you're in, is that soil or is that cocoa?
It's a soil medium, but it has perlite in it as well.
Okay.
It's basically like a gardening dirt, man. You can find this at any local gardening shop, and it's like $30 for a bale. It will fill, probably 20 to 30 pots, 3-gallon pots.
Oh,
It's
dang.
affordable, right?
Nice.
It
Yeah.
started out with $100 light, man. $100 light.
I started out with CFL bulbs.
Yeah, like just get started, right?
Totally
that's
did,
the main thing.
I started out with CFL bulbs, and I built this little aluminum frame homemade tent thing, and I covered it in black cloth, just not knowing anything,
Yeah.
And but dude, I grew these little plants in there, man. That's how I first got started.
And how proud were you at that point?
Oh, dude, I just thought I was just so stoked, man. I was so stoked that a plant, even though it was like an eighth on a stick, I was so stoked that it was mine, that I grew it, that it was finished, and that I got to actually like smoke it. You know what I mean?
I love it, man.
Satisfaction. Yeah,
That's
dude.
one of the major reasons why I like to grow. I'm sure you can relate to this, man. It's just like having buddies over to your house back in the day, and you'd offer them a drink, or you'd offer them a beer, or a cigar for that matter, if you're even in that line, man. I like having people over and saying, hey, like, take a piece of this, try this, man. Here's a fucking couple nuggets of this. Like, I enjoy just sharing my craft with people, man, and letting them try my product, man. Like, I'm so proud of it. Like,
yeah, I do too, man. I do the same thing. In fact, I do that so much sometimes that I ended up cutting myself short and running out because I'm not
I
growing.
would totally agree with that.
Oh, I gotta watch that, man.
100%, buddy.
Yeah. So that's cool, man. So and then what genetics are you typically running? You stick with one company, or you just kind of float around and grow whatever?
I've been kind of floating around for the last probably 4 or 5 years. I started out with Mephisto, man, and Mephisto genetics are my absolute favorite for autoflowers. They've been doing it the longest. They've got some phenomenal strains that give you fire every single time. But the problem is they fucking sell out so much, man. They sell out all the time, right? And they won't sponsor anyone. I tried to reach out. I tried to offer video production. I've done everything that all of us Instagram people have done. I'm not proud of it. I hate trying to get sponsorships through that method. I'd rather someone reach out to you. But I went from Mephisto, then I went to Canuck Seeds. Had pretty good results with Canuck Seeds. The only problem I found with them is Canadian company charging me American funds. I'm not doing that. I don't want to do that. So they're taking a Canadian number, marking it up to an American dollar, and charging me a Canadian citizen American money. Anyways, that's near here, there. Let's get back to the growing. And then I went to a company called Fastbud Genetics. That's my final company that I've been with. They've sponsored this grow. I've got purple lemonade in there. I've got LSD in there. I've got crystal meth. They got all these really dirty, greasy names, and they're all purple, man, like tons and tons of color. So that's probably where I'm going to stick, man. I'm going to try to build some sort of partnership with them. I've got them featured in my YouTube videos, and it's been a lot of fun so far, man.
Oh, good for you, man. You know what? That purple lemonade, I've had that. I think plant-based. I forget the actual username, but on Instagram, but he knows who he is. He sent me some actually that he grew organically.
Oh,
That
so you
purple
gotta tell
lemonade,
me, like, what did you get out of this?
it's great. Great, man. Especially the way he grew it. I think it's plant-based MA420 on Instagram, but the way he grew it is just the terpene profile on that thing was pretty crazy, dude. But it was, I think, isn't it like marketed as an indica or a hybrid?
To be
Because
honest
it
with you,
was
I'm not
really,
100% sure.
I was actually using it during the day, and it was great, man.
Oh, no way.
For
Nice.
me, yeah, and I really enjoyed it. In fact, he sent me a few strains and a binary selection strain, that purple lemonade, and then something else from Night Owl Seeds. And I got to tell you, out of that bag though, that purple lemonade was my favorite that he sent me. It's a
I'm
good strain. I
excited
think you're
for
gonna
it.
like it.
It's in there now, and it's probably one of the biggest girls in my room. It stands
Is it?
about 3.5 feet tall. I'll send you a couple pictures of it. And the purple that's on this thing is unbelievable, man. Like, just picture that, like, purple midnight sky, man. Like, I just want to fucking eat into it right now. Like, it looks phenomenal, buddy. Phenomenal.
Oh, you want to put some sugar and cinnamon on it and just have at it,
Oh, just go at her, brother.
huh? Yeah, you know what, man? I'm actually getting ready to purchase. I'm gonna purchase some. I'm getting ready to purchase some Night Owl seeds, some Mephisto, some Fast Buds. I got some Firebuds genetics. I bought some Care Bears, and but those are regulars. So I want to get some feminized seeds and run those. But I'm gonna give Fast Buds another shot because I've only gotten seeds from them once, and
Okay.
they sent them to me. I just gave them to me like the sponsorship deal,
Yep.
But I just had bad luck with them, if I'm honest. And maybe it's just me because I see so many people out there growing monsters. You, Green 75, all these people, man, they're just having great luck. But I've just had bad luck with Fast Buds. So maybe it's just a hiccup that is just a coincidence. So I'm gonna actually purchase some. So I'm getting like not testers. No, I'm gonna actually just purchase some just new seeds from them and just see how it goes, like a normal customer would, not with people giving them to me. I don't know how they were stored or where they've been because I've just had bad luck with them, if I'm honest. But
Yeah,
I've seen
cool.
your pictures, man. They look good, and other people are just rocking and rolling with them. And I'm like, it's got to be me. But then other people are like, I've had bad luck with them too. So I don't know what it is, man. What do you think about that? You've had great luck with them, obviously, huh?
Well, I didn't share it, but I also had a bit of bad luck with them too, man.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, so I popped 6 of those purple lemonade, man. Only 3 of them made it.
Mm,
And I did the same technique. Now I did have to change up my first 10 days. I'm a very process driven guy, man. Like, I write everything down to a book. I've got a sales background, and in order for me to be successful in that career, I need to follow certain steps in order to get the achieved goal of closing the deal. And
mm-hmm.
I kind of run my garden the same way. So for the first 10 days, whether they like it or not, they're getting only water, only tap water, not pH'd, and I'm spraying the surface for 10 days. And 3 of them made it and 3 of them didn't, man. So I've had good luck and bad luck. But I'm
Mm,
excited for the good luck, and that's the most important part, right? Because they're
yeah.
so fucking purple, man.
Yeah, yeah, that's cool, man. Yeah, I love those purple strains, dude. There's just something about them, man. And then it's like, and more breeders are coming out with them too. It's like every breeder's got like a purple strain. It's nice. I love it. Have you tried growing some of Mandalorian genetic stuff at all?
I haven't. I'm starting to see a little bit of it popping up on my Instagram.
Yeah, his anvil, you probably like that. It's a different type of purple strain almost. It's real deep, and the actual like fan leaves get this like dark purple from the base of the stem, and they'll like gradient out from this dark purple, and then it'll change into like this lighter purple, and then fades and like this gradient into green. It's
Oh my
beautiful.
God.
It's beautiful,
Yeah,
dude.
fuck, I'm getting turned on right now just thinking about it. Sounds so fucking good. You gotta send me that name.
It's
And
a
we'll
good
have to
strain,
check
yeah.
that out, man. Yeah, I'm excited
Yeah,
about that.
and he's actually going to be releasing feminized version of that next year. So,
No
which
way,
is even
man.
better. I can't wait for that myself. Just pop those things and grow them. But Yeah, man, it's a good purple strain if you ever get a chance. And then Morningstar Seed Company's got a good purple strain called the Purple Micro Dot. That's a pretty unique terpene profile too. If you ever get the chance to grow that, those are some two good purple strains. But yeah, man, those are the only two purple ones I've grown, I think. So what about your lights? What do you got going on with your light setup?
My light setup, I went a little bit of a different route. Once again, my buddy Kronk Grow, he's a super smart guy, man. So he does a lot of research. I don't know if he's smart or fucking crazy, one or the other, but yeah, maybe both. He does a bunch of research, right? So originally I planned on buying lights off a source through Instagram, trying to support the community. But then I looked at that light. I gave those specs to Kronk, and we went out and manufactured a light. So Kronk went out and manufactured his own light, and that's what I've got in there right now. So I run a 480 watt on one side, 480 watt on the other side, and I run a 220 as a filler once they start to flower, so I can really kind of pump it out. I find with those lights in there, man, I've probably got more than enough light. I'm not really running them at full power, and I'm getting nuggets that, I mean, you can bounce them off the pavement. They're that dense. So I'm enjoying the light, man. What do you got for a light over there? What are you running?
I'm got a TSL 2000 from Mars Hydro.
Mars Hydro.
Yeah.
So I ran that light. That light is absolutely phenomenal, man.
Yeah, that's like the first like legit light that I've ever purchased, and I'm actually getting to purchase another one identical to it and putting right next to it, and just double my my availability there. But yeah, I mean, I like it so far, dude, compared to what I've grown. But I'm the same as you, dude. I start slow. I start from the bottom, and I don't like to spend a lot of money. I don't have a lot of money to invest in things. It took me a long time. I mean, it took me 2.5 years just to get that entry level light right there,
I feel you there.
Yeah, started out with CFLs, and then, spent like $80 on a blurple and grew that, and then built my own cob light and added that to the blurple and did that for a while. And then somebody donated a light to me, and I was using that, and that burnt out. And so now I got this, I'm getting ready to buy another one. And so far I like it. I know there's better lights out there, but they cost a lot more. And to be honest, I want to stay within the realm of what most people are growing with, being that I kind of have this Autoflower podcast and stuff, and I do some YouTube videos. I want to like grow with people, like
100%
along in the same, like, I don't want to be this guy. There's nothing wrong with this, dude. So I'm not bashing it, but I don't want to be the guy who's got all the bells and whistles that nobody else gets to have, and I just showcase it and grow with it. Like, I mean, that's cool if that's your thing, like, no judgment. But for me personally, dude, I would rather like stay down with everybody, with the homies, like in the gutter, buddy, so to speak, if you want to call it that, and just grow how everyone else is growing, dude. You know what I mean? In my garage, on a budget, using resources around my house, and just do it yourself type stuff and things like that.
100%, man. We have such a similar kind of story, man. I started out with a fucking $100 light on Amazon, and the lights I got in there now, they're $400 lights.
Mm-hmm.
Kronk doesn't sell them anymore, so I mean, I'll tell you, they're a $400 light. We were selling them for around $600 to $500, and make a bit of money on them. I mean, we're doing a lot of similar things that you're trying to do. I see you're making T-shirts. You want to work for yourself, am I right?
Yeah, well, I have been for about a decade. I've been, this T-shirt thing that you see behind me, that's been my business for the last 10 years. So screen printing, I got like a commercial conveyor driver over here, and I got like a plotter. I've seen vehicle wraps setup, and all that impressive stuff, man. Yeah, so I mean, I'm just set up. I'm lucky, dude. I'm very fortunate. I make T-shirts, I design logos. I used to be a graphic designer full time for a company, so I just happen to have that benefit along with doing what I'm doing in the cannabis community, and I don't have to sub that out.
One thing that I think is cool, man, and I think we should really talk about it, because we're kind of talking about our story.
Yeah.
A lot of people on Instagram, like, you probably get a lot of messages. I get a lot of messages, and we're small time. We're not big guys. We're not doing big things. We're regular people growing regular cannabis with regular products, man. And I think people need to realize that. Like, a lot of people reach out to me and they're like, "Hey, man, these videos are pretty cool, and this is pretty cool," and I appreciate it. It makes me feel great. Don't get me wrong, but you can do it too. Anybody can do this, man. And we're all influencers. And we really, realistically, I just want to tell my story, and I want to kind of motivate people to start growing cannabis, number one. And I want to make them laugh, man. I try to laugh as much as I can, man. I try to get high because it makes me feel fucking good, right?
I love your honesty, dude.
So, like, if you're listening to this and you're tuning in, man, just start growing. Get a fucking solo cup, get a seed, and fucking plant it, and start tuning into all kinds of shit like this. And let's support this community, because we can all be fucking great, man. And it sounds so corny, but it's so damn true, man.
It is true, man. It is true. And whatever way you want to grow, however that looks, like, don't be embarrassed to start, you know? Like, dude, I used to post pictures of if you go back on my Instagram, like all the way back to the beginning, like, I've got like a picture or two with my CFL bulbs on there. You know, I mean, like, dude, you got to start somewhere. You know what I mean? And then people like us, we start to grow, and then we begin to nurture and surface this passion that's in us. And then so you and I, like, we act upon that, and now we're doing whatever it is that we're doing. And you know, some people might just grow and not want to be on, you know, social media with it, and that's fine too. You know, there are a lot of people that listen to this podcast that they don't have like an Instagram handle where they, you know, showcase their plants. They're just private people, dude. Like, nobody really knows about them. And that's totally cool, man. You know, but like, even for those people, like, you got to start somewhere. Like, everybody's got to start somewhere, you know. And new growers, I know a lot of times, as you know, the internet is just chock full, dude, of just a diversity of all kinds of different types of people and growers. You just got to kind of be able to, like, put some filters on and weed through all that bullshit and stuff, you know what I mean? And be able to, I don't know. I don't even know. I'm not getting out what I want to say, because I'm not.
I'm feeling what you're putting out there, man. It's just, it's a cool community, man. It's so diverse, and realistically, it's guys like you and I, and people that kind of motivated us, man, that are really going to make this fucking great, man.
Yeah, I think we're on this bend too, you know, like, where I think people are going to look back in history, and they're going to, like, maybe in a couple hundred years, and they're going to see us, like, our generation and the generations before us, and maybe even a couple after us. I think they're going to see this historical view of us flipping this idea of cannabis upside down, back onto
100%,
where
man.
it belongs, onto its steady ground, instead of being this turtle that's just, you know, where everyone thinks it's some poisonous demon snake, and it's actually just this calm, slow moving turtle flipped upside down that just needs a little help. And so people like us, we're here to come and, like, help flip that turtle, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're here to, like, usher this thing in, man, and help, like, guide.
Yeah,
and
I mean, I'll share, like, a personal kind of wall that I have up, man, and I'm trying to break it down. It's showing ourselves on here, man, and showing our gardens. And there's so many great growers before us that they won't show their garden. I don't blame them, man. They've been locked down on this negativity of cannabis, and how bad it is, and how bad it is to grow it, and how criminal it is, man. And I honestly just want to put a face to it. I want to show people that, hey, man, I'm a regular, successful guy. I go to a 9-to-5 job, and I work my ass off, and I'm very successful in my field. And then I get into the garden, and I want to show people, hey, I'm a fucking goofball. I'm not a professional. I want to have fun, man. I've got pictures of me on my Instagram, man, holding up flowers. I'm completely naked in my garden, man. I want to change the game. I want to change the way people look at growers, man. Growers are crazy, and growers are normal, and growers are professional, and growers are black, white, and every color, man. And we're so fucking awesome. And we really need to start putting a face to it, because in order to break this stigma, we need to start showing that regular people consume this plant, man.
Yeah, I agree, man. And I'm right there with you. You know, I'm obviously willing to put my face out there, and it's just got to be willing to do it. It's the only way to move forward, you know. But I mean, I respect people's privacy. Everyone's got a different situation and a different story. But man, yeah, I love what you're saying, dude. Everything about it, be yourself, just grow and be yourself. You don't have to fall in line and look a certain way or act or use just be
Now
yourself.
I've got a question for you. So you work for yourself, but I mean, you can probably relate to this. So I work for a company,
Mhm.
and part of me is scared, man. Like, what if they see my stuff and they don't like it, and do they find a way to get rid of me or terminate me because of what I'm doing? And then I look back and I'm like, man, there's people out there that are going to their job that are worried to find out maybe they might smell like weed because they're growing it. Maybe they think
Mhm.
I'm a stoner, or if I tell them I grow weed, like that's why I want to change it, man. I'm still scared to this day, man, that I'm showing my face, but I want to do it because I feel like that's the only thing that's going to change it.
Mm. Yeah, I could relate with that, man. I do think about that if I'm honest with you, like because my screen printing business has pretty much just collapsed since COVID. And so now I'm like just trailblazing and trying to build something with this cannabis stuff. And but man, it's like I've thought that same thing. It's like, what if I go to get a job? Like, what if I need to go back out into the corporate world or something and get a job? A simple Google search of my name is just going to puke cannabis all over their screen. You know what I mean?
100%, and that's got to scare you a bit.
It does a little bit, man. It does. Man, it's just I know that like I know you like and I know that there's nothing wrong with this, right?
Man,
Like that's
it,
what you're saying that you're trying to change. You want to help change. And so I'm with you. Like you know what? I'm gonna just live it out, man. That's just my personal decision. I respect everyone's decision, but it's like I'm just gonna go for it. I'm just gonna live it out and let it come and embrace the fear, embrace the uncertainty, and embrace the unknown, and just love life and go for it, man.
fuck, man, I 100% respect that. Like when you brought up the history, that's what I think of history. I think of people looking back that have been part of this Instagram community, and they're going, look at the guys they're changing it, man. They're trying to open it up.
Hmm.
Like there's people trying to put a face to it, right? A face to the grower. The grower's
Hmm.
everybody, man. It's everybody. Like it's gonna be cool looking back at this, man, in like 20 years. Do you have kids?
Yeah, 5.
Like, and I'm trying to bring my kids up in a way that are different too, man. And I don't know if
Hmm.
it's right or wrong, or if I'm a good parent or a bad parent, but I want this plant to be like a beer to them, man.
Yeah.
I want them to come to me when they're ready to try this plant and say, Dad, my friends are smoking weed. Like, I want to try it. Let's sit down, buddy. We're gonna smoke some of the best weed we got right now. Let's do this. You're about to trip balls, man. You're gonna green out, and then you're gonna fall in love with this plant because I think everyone really that hasn't tried it needs to try it, man.
Yeah, I agree. Why not? If you don't like it, you don't like it. If you do, you do. It might be beneficial to you. It might just, help you enjoy life a little more.
I
Whatever
think
it
we're
may
on a
be.
path, buddy. I think we're on a path that history's already being changed, man. And I mean, we're a small, 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 super small part of it.
Yeah.
But what we're doing, man, I hope you stay motivated because I know that like during my day-to-day life, man, this is just a hobby. But like when we get messages from people and people reach out and they like your podcast, man, I mean, it makes a big, big energy boost in you. It makes you want to get that next episode done. So keep doing what you're doing, man. I fucking love it.
I appreciate it, man. And like surprisingly, like not surprisingly, but a lot of people might not know this, but like I mean, on a weekly basis, dude, like I struggle in the background, like that. Not a lot of people might know about. Just am I doing the right thing? Should I keep doing this? There's always this. It's that unknown. It's hard to embrace that unknown, And
You and
so
I both, man. I mean, and
yeah,
to be honest with you, buddy, I don't know you from a hole in the ground. This is the first
yeah,
time ever chatting with you.
right.
Um, but we had a podcast planned,
Hmm.
and you reached out and you were so apologetic, man, of really nothing, man. I mean, it's not your fault, man. We all have our own fucking lives, man, and I struggle every day too, man. It's the reason why we smoke cannabis, man. We're not happy every day. We, we're
Yeah.
not we're not 100% on every day, and when I mean on, man, it's everything's flowing. I'm
Hmm.
getting up in a good mood, man. Like that's the stuff that I just want to capture, man. And I think the more open we get with this stuff, it's just going to be so much better, man.
Yeah.
We're all struggling together, bud. It's fucking
Yeah. Yeah, it is, man. But but you're right, dude. It's like, it is those messages. It is those, just the support and stuff. That's the stuff that it is what keeps me going, because that's the goal. The goal is really to, just like what we've been talking about. I mean, I have like all these little mini goals, but my biggest goal is just to bring knowledge to the people, and for people to understand that this is absolutely doable. You can do it yourself at home. You don't have to. If you want to go spend $300 an ounce at the dispensary, go for it. If you don't like spending that type of money, and you want to make sure that what you're getting is clean, and you want to enjoy doing it, then it's absolutely possible, feasible, probable, and
affordable.
I mean, you're going to be able to do it. There's just a learning curve like anything. I had to cook spaghetti for the first time at some point in my life. And as soon as I did it, you learn it and you keep going. It's just like anything else, man. And so that's my mission, and then, but now it's like my mission is I'm so freaking passionate about it, dude. And I'm so hungry for what I'm doing, if I'm honest with you, that it's like, it's all I want to do.
I feel it, man. I feel it, man. I've never been this passionate about anything, man. I played hockey my whole life, competitively at a high level. And I was very passionate about that. I mean, I was in the gym, I was working out, I was doing everything I had to do to be a good hockey player. And growing, man, has taken my fucking heart, man. Like, I literally just want to be great, man. And I want people to see that anybody can do it. I want to tell a story, man. Like, I'm starting to do that, man. Like the YouTube videos, I've been holding off on this for so long, man. And I've been like scared to put myself out there. And it actually, like, I can feel it in my chest right now, even talking about it, man. Like, it took me a while to do it, man, but I'm getting such good feedback, man. And the videos they're fun and they're enjoyable and they're also educational at the same time, man. And I can't wait to see where they go, man. I can't wait to see what you do too, man. I started seeing you making the t-shirts now, and you can see them now, like the cannabis ideas. Keep flowing with it, man. Are you willing to, like, is there a minimum count for t-shirts? Because I've got a grow off coming up, and I think we should collab on something for that.
Yeah. I mean, typically in the business world, dude, like with my shirt company, there's a minimum of 36. But I mean, I do, I still do print shirts. So, I mean, if anybody, you or anybody in the grow community or seed companies or whatever, man, just like other companies or anybody who wants shirts, they just hit me up on the DM and I'll give them some pricing. But yeah, what do you got coming up? Talk to us about that.
I've got a grow off coming up. And what I'm going to do is, a lot of normal grow offs, they get someone to sponsor it and you grow basically the strain that they give you. But what I want to do is, you grow an autoflower, you grow it in whatever size pot you want. You grow whatever strain you want, whatever one you think is going to bring the best fire. Yeah. And I've got a championship belt actually made for it. It's legit leather. It's got the plaques on it. It says Basement Autoflowers, Autoflower Champion. And then on the other two ones, it says Top Grower, and then there's a crown. And you're going to win the belt. I'm going to do this as an annual thing. So what you're going to do is, we'll start on a certain day. You'll have to a certain day to finish. And then you will send a portion of your cannabis in. We'll videotape the smoking process. We're going to pick the top 10. And then those top 10 are going to go on my YouTube channel. And we're going to crown a champion, man. It's going to be pretty cool.
Dude, that is too cool, man. That is an amazing idea. That's so fun. So when does that start? When are you starting that?
I want to start it on January 1st. But right now I'm waiting for the belt to show up.
Okay.
So I just finished final kind of breakdowns on the belt. So I can kind of get it all ready so I can post it and show the belt and show what you can win. Yeah. So it's probably going to be in the new year, just not necessarily sure which date. But that's an idea of what the belt looks like. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, that's super cool, man. I love it.
So it's like a real belt. And I just want to get people growing, man. And I think showcasing their weed on my show is going to not only help me, but it's going to help them, man. And it's going to put a face or an account to that specific strain, man. And I think some people, they need to be put up on that podium, man. They're doing a fucking great job.
I agree, man. There's some phenomenal growers and stuff that I've met and hung out with up at the first Autoflower Cup up in Oregon last year, and it's like some of the personal stash on these guys. I was just like,
Blown away, eh?
man, dude, you guys should be like growing out in some professional farm somewhere or something on acres, dude. Like, geez, fire, man. Yeah, fire.
Unbelievable, eh?
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Some of them too. It's like I think one or two of them is just like strains that I've grown, but they just grew them so much better than me.
Oh, so you've seen how bad they can be in your own personal. Like we've all had that bad weed. Like, and you're like, oh fuck, man, it got that much better. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Unbelievable, man. Sure. That's hilarious. I love that.
So what do people do to enter this grow off? Like, is there a website that they sign up at, or how does that work?
Yeah, they'll be all that. So the best way to kind of stay on top of it, this has basically been an idea. You're the first person that even knows about this. The belt was just ordered 2 days ago.
Okay.
So that's a lot of planning needs to come into place, but I'm high right now and excited, having a great chat. I'm like, fuck, maybe I should tell them about this awesome belt.
Yeah, dude. Cool. Drop the news on an episode. That's
they can find me on Instagram, Basement Autoflowers. They can find me on YouTube, Basement Autoflowers, and you can go to my website, basementautoflowers.com, and you can sign up to my newsletter. So you'll get an email through there too. So 3 different avenues where you can find it. But the problem is it's not finalized yet, but it's going to be fucking awesome. I can promise you that.
That's so cool, dude. I love it, man. So it's in the works, but that's something to look forward to, though, man. I think I'm going to get in on that just for the fun. That's so cool.
100%, man. I appreciate to have you for sure.
Yeah, I'll have to go sign up officially and all that stuff, man. So I guess the only thing I'm wondering is like, do you think people are going to shy away from it because they have to send it some flower in the mail?
I'm not sure. I think there's some people that are willing to send it. I mean, it's pretty easy to send inside of Canada. If you're outside of the States, we can figure out a way. I mean, I'm okay if you send it as long as you're okay. But I mean, we'd have to do it legally, so let's make sure we're covering all the bases. But if you can't send in a flower, there's other ways you can put it in. If I see some crazy fire in some pictures, we'll figure out a way.
You'll be like, hey, send it to Chad.
Yeah, we'll figure out a way.
And he'll let me know. No.
I didn't think of that, eh? That's where the high mind comes into play. It doesn't think of the logistics of everything, right?
Yeah. No, that's super cool, man.
Yeah, man. And we're going to there's going to be a cool prize package. We already got a start to it. So you're going to get some low stress training basement autoflower bags, some slaps, some seeds. You're going to get a full line of nutrients from Crunk Grow. So it's going to be pretty cool, man. And then I'm going to be looking for some other sponsors to come on board. What I'm trying to do is a big launch for my YouTube channel, man. Mm-hmm. I'm having a lot of fun making these videos. And I really want to expand off of just the Grow series. I've done stand-up comedy. I've done a lot of cool things throughout my life, man. And I've got some really cool ideas for some spoof videos to kind of tease at the cannabis community, to make us all kind of laugh at ourselves and go, yeah, I do that. I do that. So I want to do all that avenue, man, but I need to get a bigger following. So I want to try to do whatever I can to try to build that community around myself so that we can all grow together, man, and make this fucking awesome. So it's going to take some time, but I'm going to swing for the fences, man, and try to make this work. So.
Dude, I think it's already working, man. It's just a matter of time before the wheel just spins and collects more as it goes. You know what I mean? And the community will just get bigger. And I love it, man. I love the whole idea of laughing. I love the comedy aspect. Comedy has always been important to me in my life. I never really knew it until, maybe for the last few years. But, laughing, joking, comedy, it's a way, even like they'll tell you in psychology and stuff, it's a way for laughing at ourselves is a great way to get through our own shadow and kind of like shine light on our flaws and laugh about it instead of judging each other for it.
One thing that kind of cracks me up about this whole thing, man, and we talked about it in the history and everything, is like you look back at Cheech and Chong, man. Mm-hmm. How revolutionary were they? Like, there's no Cheech and Chong around right now. Sure, they're around, but there's no mainstream comedic duo or single or anybody that is getting high and showing it to people, man. It's crazy. And it's legal, man. It's legal in Canada. And it's legal where you are as well, I believe.
Yeah, it is.
Not? And
Yeah,
it's so tied down, man. I'm watching a documentary on Prime right now about Hugh Hefner and how nudity was so frowned upon, man. And like now sexuality is so open, man. There's all these different sexualities. And you rewind to cannabis, man. It's going to go the same way. No one's smoking it, man. You're going to see grandmothers doing bong rips in public. You're going to see dab hits. You're going to see all this craziness, man. It's going to be a better place, man.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it'll be just like at one point, man, this is all going to be no different than walking into a supermarket, seeing an aisle of bottles of wine and whiskey and anything else, you know. There's going to be that aspect, and then there's going to be the other aspect where you'll probably be able to walk into a pharmacy, you know, and get medical grade, like, you know, like stuff that's maybe grown different and that's used for different reasons. I think it's just going to open up, you know, even like alcohol, man. I mean, there's medicinal purposes to alcohol if it's done in moderation and correctly, like wine, you know. I mean, even even the good old Bible says to drink a glass of wine a day for the stomach. You know what I mean? Old Paul the Apostle. So
I even look at like my mom, man, is totally against weed. Like if I smoked weed back in the day, man, I used to hide my weed outside underneath the deck and then like do a bong rip. My mom might come on a show to smoke cannabis with me. It's gonna change, man. It's changing.
Oh,
it's changing
for sure, man. For sure.
Pretty cool, bud.
Yeah. Hey, bro, dude. Thanks, man. Thanks for being willing to come on and giving your time, dude. I'd love to connect with you some more, like, you know, off the recording and just see how we could just benefit each other, man.
I want to be a bigger part of the community. And I feel like if we get a guy with personality traits like myself out there, that more people like me and that feel like me and are down in the dumps sometimes, they're going to come out and start to build this place up. So I appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me, bud.
Yeah, dude. I just want to say, dude, that like, you know, just kudos to you, dude, for like knowing who you are and living it out and not being shy and embarrassed. Like, you know, your values, dude. You know that you're funny. You know that you like to have a good time. And instead of being shy and, you know, worrying about what people might think or say, you just go out there and you live it out, dude. And I love that. I think we need more people like that in the world, dude, especially the cannabis industry. So thanks for being yourself, dude. I appreciate what you're bringing to the table already, and I haven't even watched your videos yet.
Well, that fucking means a lot, man, and you got me choked up here, so that's my time to exit.
All right, brother. Well,
appreciate it, brother. Thanks, man.
Well, that does it for episode 47. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening. Just a friendly reminder to follow the podcast on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter if you aren't already. Don't forget to follow Basement Autoflowers on Instagram and YouTube. You can also check out the website and keep an eye out for that grow challenge. That's going to be pretty cool. So thank you for listening. Remember to keep your dignity, to live out what you truly value, to love your plants, and to love one another. See ya.
Nicotine, alcohol, good drugs. Coincidentally, tax drugs. Ooh, how does this fucking work?
The deadly narcotic. The dried leaves and berries are ground up and made into cigarettes by a simple hand machine. The deadly narcotic is thus quickly and easily prepared for its market. The sale of marijuana is even more difficult to detect and halt than the traffic in drugs such as opium, morphine, and heroin.